I'm Ted Keys in Pasadena, California. Welcome to my Tuesday conference call, a free high-powered meeting I hold live every Tuesday for top producing freight agents. Go to tedkeysonline.com for complete call information. Then join us weekly to see new, serious, struggling, and experienced sales professionals move more freight efficiently, effectively, effortlessly, and make more money financially. So watch my recorded call topic highlighted there on your screen right now. Then go to tedkeysonline.com and hear more podcasts, read more blog posts, watch more videos, and while you're there, visit my Freight Sales Success Store for top-notch freight moving products to explode your business today. Enjoy watching and applying my Tuesday conference call.
I'm just going to go ahead and mute everybody out here, and then I'm going to start my call today. Hello and welcome to my Tuesday conference call. I'm Ted Keys, your top freight agent training expert here in Pasadena, California. This is a free high-powered meeting I hold live every Tuesday for top producing freight agents at 2 p.m. Pacific time and 5 p.m. Eastern time. On the call today, I'm going to show you how to move more freight efficiently, effectively, and effortlessly so you make more money financially. And after the call today, go to my website, tedkeysonline.com, to hear more of my podcasts, read more of my blog posts, watch more of my videos, and while you're there, visit my Freight Sales Success Store for top-notch freight moving products to explode your business today. When you arrive at my Freight Sales Success Store today, you'll see a number of products available. First product you'll see available is my flagship product, my Freight Sales Success Guide. This guide is for sale on my website. However, I give it out freely to all beginner freight agents that join our organization, typically for beginner and struggling freight agents that have just come into the industry. Another product that I have available, if you're looking for some motivation, then I've got it. Go to my, purchase my Freight Sales Success quotes. These quotes will keep you busy. They'll keep you active, especially when it comes to making contact with the freight marketplace. And also, if you're looking for specific skills, freight moving skills to move your freight, then opt for my Freight Sales Success Skills. This profession takes little itty-bitty individual skills along the way for each part of the process, where you contact the marketplace to getting your loads posted, getting them in motion, getting them delivered. Opt for my Freight Sales Success Skills if that is your pleasure. Also, while you're there taking in all this free information, on any one of the pages on my website, just look up above and click on the contact page. That'll take you to my contact page. Just listen to the video I tell you there. I'm going to tell you to enter your contact details in the spaces provided. By doing that, you will receive your personally weekly invite to this and every call. Also, just by getting on my contact and getting those weekly invites to this and every call, you're also going to receive the attachments that I go over on each and every call. And also, as a freebie, just by opting in to my contact page there, you will receive my free report, 11 Ways Freight Agents Will Increase Their Income. Just follow these guidelines as a professional freight agent. By following these guidelines, you will see your income increase as you follow them. Also, guys, and by the way, that report there has been downloaded thousands of times before. And if you have any questions today, or are you ready to join our top producing freight sales team, then give me a call, Ted Keys. I'm at 626-309-9141. Today's training topic is avoid these common freight shipping mistakes. One more time, today's training topic is avoid these common freight shipping mistakes. Unfortunately, as we first get involved in this profession, just like you would in anything, you're going to make these costly and common mistakes. I'm going to go over each one today. There's basically 6. I'm going to go over each today. And just by going over them, it's going to reduce the number of the times that you make these common and costly mistakes. So for those of you that are on my email contact list that have received my invite today to the call, just go ahead to any one of those emails that I sent you, scroll down to the bottom, and we will be going over the attachments that I sent for this call, just like I will send out on every call, provided you get on my email contact list. So let's talk about the common freight shipping mistakes. There's 6 of them. And unfortunately, as I said earlier, just like any profession, you're going to make some mistakes along the way. So as I go over these mistakes, really let them sink into your mind. Reread this attachment over and over again. Make sure you print it out and go over it as I go over it with you, and just let these sink in, so the more you're aware of these mistakes, the less you will make them. So let's talk about avoiding common and costly shipping mistakes. Now, even successful freight sales agents can easily make mistakes in their domestic shipping processes. Every year, mistakes in every type of shipping process cost freight sales agents and their customers, albeit, which in turn add up to multi-millions of lost dollars. Now, international and domestic shipping mistakes alike can cause goods to not be where they're headed, and also when they must be there. Now, in the process, millions of dollars are lost by freight sales agents and their shipping customers alike in fees and delays every year because of these avoidable shipping blunders. As I said earlier, I'm going to go over 6 common and costly shipping mistakes that you can avoid. And again, these are the top 6. The first mistake to avoid, mistake number 1 is, or I should say the mistake that we make that you can and should avoid, is not double checking the shipping information and the documents that you receive for each load. Again, not double checking the shipping information and the documents that you receive for each load. Let me talk about that a little more in detail. So, simple and basic, however, and again, these documents that you receive, you'd think that just by getting the documents that your load is going to go along swimmingly. However, that's not the case. You'd be surprised at how often freight agents and their customers lose money because they don't double check the shipping information or the accompanying documents they're providing within the shipping network. This can extend from the freight agents themselves, to the carrier dispatcher, to the truck driver, to the pickup location, to the delivery location. Every load that you do, there are a number of different groups that have to receive the information, the correct information, either the documents that I talked about or the instructions. Sometimes there's special instructions for each load. So as I said earlier, there's a number of individual groups that have to receive this information. I can't express how important it is that each group receive the information correctly. Now, mistakes in load information and the actual shipping paperwork can cause big delays and in turn big bucks. Double check that packing lists, commercial invoices, and original bills of lading are correctly and completely filled out in a timely fashion, which will diminish these mistakes. So, mistake number 1 to avoid, and that is by not double checking the shipping information and the documents. That's the mistake that folks make. Let's talk about mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 is mistiming a time-sensitive shipment. Again, mistake number 2 is mistiming a time-sensitive shipment. What do I mean by that? Well, timing is typically everything, and it's extremely important in shipping your customers' freight as well. Duh! Properly timing a time-sensitive shipment can be tricky, especially for the inexperienced. Mistiming a shipment is a common shipping mistake, especially for the first-time freight sales agents when the transit time is crucial. Unfortunately, because they're new, they don't understand the processes that take place, so they don't take into account how important it is to get the load picked up and delivered. Now, perhaps you've covered a load that must pick up now. Well, you get a quote and find out that the transit time alone is longer than your customer wishes to wait for it. Common mistake happens all the time. A serious problem may arise if you've promised the goods sooner than you've expected to your prospect or your customer. A common situation new shippers find themselves in is receiving a freight rate quote and thinking that the quote is good forever, only to find out that that quote has expired. This is another part of mistiming a time-sensitive shipment. When it comes to timing the shipment of your loads, the timeline for loading, in-transit time, and receiving time cutoffs are among things that have to be considered, guys. As a general rule, again, as I say, as a general rule, freight rate pricing quotes are only good for several days for domestic shipments, so lock down your rates several days before you actually ship the load. So mistake number 2, again, is when you mistime a time-sensitive shipment. Mistake number 3 to avoid. Mistake number 3 to avoid is choosing the wrong shipping method. Common mistake that freight sales agents make is actually choosing the wrong shipping method. Typically what I mean by that is choosing the wrong shipping trailer or the method of which it actually gets transported. Let me talk about that a little more. Freight sales agents, if you didn't know, must choose the correct shipping method for their customers' requirements. Again, super important. The 3 common forms of shipping, most forms of commodities is by flatbed, it's also by reefer, or it's by dry van trailer. Now again, this is for domestic loads. It's for loads not leaving the continent. However, as a general guideline, I take it back. All these trailers can travel over the road or by railroad. Again, this is something that will never leave the continent. However, as a general guideline, over-the-road loads tend to be more expensive than rail shipping, but it is much faster, however. So again, over-the-road is faster than rail, but it is more expensive. Consider the time element of your shipments. Again, very important. If shipments must be delivered more quickly, an over-the-road trailer is the best shipping method for you. So if it's got to go fast, over-the-road is your best option. With larger shipments that are not time sensitive, well, then shipping by rail is your best choice, provided that your customer agrees with it. Again, rail is cheaper. Again, you can ship rail but with flatbed, with reefer or dry van, but your customer must know that you're shipping it by rail and they have to agree with it. Why? Because rail typically takes more than twice the time that a regular over-the-road trailer will take. So mistake number 3 is choosing the wrong shipping method. Mistake number 4 to avoid in shipping is not getting the correct cargo insurance. Mistake number 4 is not getting the correct cargo insurance. Let's face it, shipping happens, and sometimes shipping happens to go wrong. That's why mistakes are made, guys. Failing to properly insure your cargo could be very costly in the case that something goes wrong during your transportation phase of it. Among the dangers of shipping, our cargo gets rained on or it gets wet. I mean, the trucker trailer has a wreck. Hey, somebody could run into your trucker trailer that you're hiring. Loads are held hostage, believe it or not. And goods are stolen or damaged in transit. Very important that they are insured for the right amount. So make it safer. Now, I don't typically agree with this part of it, but just make it safer by having your goods professionally packed, or on the shipping trailers when the cargo is of a special variety. So, case in point, you're transporting explosives. Well, these have to be specially packed anyway, but that's a typical example of a cargo that has to be really overlooked and it's a highly regulated type of cargo, but that's something that has to be done by specialists. Now, although at an added cost, without professionally packed cargo, the odds of damage to your goods dramatically increases, and this is a positive when your goods don't qualify for cargo insurance. So mistake number 5 is not, I take it back, mistake number 4 is not getting the correct cargo insurance. Mistake number 5 that beginner freight sales agents typically make is choosing the carrier with the cheapest rate. Oh, how magnetized we are to the carrier with the cheapest rate. Typically that is a mistake. This is the most common mistake in any form of shipping. When most shippers look for a freight forwarder, shipping company, or freight broker, they often choose based on who gives the cheapest freight quote. Often the cheapest freight quotes come from inexperienced freight forwarders or shipping companies, or are accompanied by hidden fees that they don't talk to you about up front. So anyway, choosing the carrier with the cheapest rate is not always the best thing to do. Obviously, ask anyone if price is important, which it is, but service and experience are much more important factors to consider when choosing a freight forwarder or any type of shipping company. A shipping company that doesn't have the experience and know how to handle complications that may arise in and through the shipping process could cause costly detention delays, other fees, and potential lost cargo that often far outweigh the difference in freight rates that your customer actually pays you. So just remember, guys, choosing the carrier with the cheapest rate is not always the best thing to do. What's important is the service that you provide, and that is what you've got to stress every load that you do with every future prospect or customer. Mistake number 5 that we freight sales agents typically make, I take it, mistake number 6, again, our last mistake that us freight sales agents typically make, and this is the biggest one. I'm going to spend a little time on this one, and that is we stop building our contact list. Mistake number 6 again is we stop building our contact list. Here's that surefire mistake that always, not sometimes, not maybe, but always leads to failure, a surefire mistake. And that is, we don't obtain any new contacts, emails, or phone numbers daily. And I stress that daily. We don't build our contact list. We only send emails rather than use the phone. If you do make any contacts, again, we don't pick up the phone and talk to our contact list. We actually believe that our customers will stay loyal and always continue to work with us. We only service the current customers that we have, and we coast and we rest on what we have. All surefire mistakes that lead to failure. When you produce this way, let me stress that again, when you produce this way, here's what you will eventually get. You're going to get 0 or few loads moving over time. Okay, this might work today, but believe me, a month or 2 or 3 months from now, it will not work. Your loads will diminish to nothing. Another thing is you're going to get no growth in your sales, and also you're going to have unpaid bills sitting on your desk. It's that simple. Mistake number 6, the biggest mistake that freight sales agents make, is they stop building their contact list. So again, 6 mistakes, 6 common and costly mistakes that we can all afford to avoid as a professional and successful freight sales agent. Just going to go over that one more time, guys. The 6 mistakes are: we don't double check the shipping information on the documents we receive. That's mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 is we mistime a time-sensitive shipment. Mistake number 3 that we make is we choose the wrong shipping method. Mistake number 4 that we make is we don't get the correct cargo insurance. Again, our freight companies have minimums, typically $750,000. But if you're moving a load of diamonds, you better up that cargo insurance to where it should be. So mistake number 4 is not getting the correct cargo insurance. Mistake number 5 is we choose the carrier with the cheapest rate. Again, the cheapest rate is not always the best carrier to go with. And mistake number 6, the most important mistake that we could make, is we stop building our contact list. Be aware of all of these mistakes that freight sales agents make. Be aware of them, as I said, and stop making them. Now, based on that sixth mistake, stop building our contact list, I'm going to keep going on that idea. And what I'm going to have you do is go to that second attachment. That second attachment you'll see is titled Our Recipe for Success. Now, this is a document that I've gone over and over again, but I can't stress how important it is that you ingrain this into your mind, because this is the true recipe for freight sales success. Let's talk about it a little bit. Bear with me. Let's talk about that recipe for success. Now, your customers will eventually leave you. It's guaranteed. Your customers will eventually leave you. I guarantee it over time. Now, when will they leave you? I don't know, but they will leave you over time, and that's guaranteed. Knowing this, knowing how important it is, I'm going to give you a description on how to succeed as a freight sales agent. So what am I going to do? I'm going to talk to you about my recipe for success. Here's basically your recipe for success, and that is every day, minimum, you're going to get 3 new emails and phone numbers per day. At a minimum, that is not difficult. Every day, 3 new contacts, emails and phone numbers per day. What does that come to? It's going to come to 15 new emails and contacts per week. What are you going to do? You're going to add all of these to your existing contact list. You're just going to keep building that contact list that you have. What are you going to do after you add those to your contact list? You're going to communicate with that contact list. Every week, you're going to email weekly. If not something that you come up with on your own, that utilize the email that I send you weekly. Again, I send that out weekly. In addition to that, every day you're going to call 10 prospects that are already on your list. Simple recipe for success. Here's what's going to happen when you do this. You're going to have more loads moving. It's that simple. 3 new contacts a day, 15 new a week. Add those to your contact list. Communicate with your contact list via emails, via telephone calls. You're going to have more loads moving. It's that simple. So if anyone tells me that your customers have stopped moving freight with you, plain and simple, you've coasted, you've rested on your laurels, you've stopped building your contact list. That's why you have very little freight moving. And speaking of that, let's go ahead and open up that third attachment and let's talk about my recipe for failure. You'd think I wouldn't go over a recipe for failure, but hey, I will go over it, because when you do these things on this third document, if you commit to something like this, you will fail, guaranteed. Now let's talk about this. As I said earlier, and then just repeating that same point, your customers will leave you. I guarantee it. When will they leave you? I don't know. They could leave you this week, this month, next month. They could leave you 6 months from now. They could leave you in a year. It all varies, but I guarantee you your customers will eventually leave you. Now, knowing this, just knowing that information, I'm going to talk to you about why you will fail if you don't follow my recipe for success. And that basically I'm going to go over my recipe for failure. So what is my recipe for failure? My recipe for failure is if you don't obtain those 3 new contacts every day, if you don't obtain those 15 new contacts weekly, if you don't take any information and you add to your contact list. Also, if you coast or rest on your laurels, if you only service your current customers, if you actually believe that your customers will remain loyal to you, if you don't call your remaining contact list, again, keeping in contact with them, or if you don't even send out the weekly email that I send you, here's what's going to happen. You're going to have fewer no loads moving. You're going to have no growth. You're going to have unpaid bills sitting on your desk. It's that simple. Basically, in a nutshell, always, always, always build your contact list. Stay in contact with those folks. Even if you have 1,000 people on your contact list, keep building it. If you have 1,000 people on your contact list, you are super busy. You are moving loads daily. But if you don't build that contact list, your loads will just diminish down to nothing. It's that simple. So you either follow recipe for success, follow recipe for failure. It's your choice. I'll leave it up to you. Let's go ahead and move on to that fourth attachment and talk about sales in general. Fourth attachment reads, remember when you're calling your prospects and customers, when you make mistakes, guys, don't throw in the towel. Again, when you make mistakes, don't throw in the towel. Actually use it to wipe the sweat off your face. I guarantee it, you will make mistakes in this profession. Your goal is to make fewer and fewer as time goes on. However, when you do, don't throw in the towel. Actually use it to wipe the sweat off your face, meaning just keep going forward, don't quit. Keep going forward, don't quit. Let's move on to that fifth attachment. Or is it fifth? Yeah, fifth attachment. Remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, guys, remember that easy is never a part of success. As I said earlier, we make mistakes. Why do we make mistakes? Because we're not aware of certain things that can happen. Is that challenging? Yes, it is challenging, especially when we make a mistake and we have to talk to our customers about it. So in a nutshell, easy is never a part of success. You're going to make these mistakes. It's going to be a little difficult in the beginning. Yes, it will get a little easier after a while. However, when you set your daily, weekly, monthly, yearly goals, the last thing you're going to put in there is to make things easy. You're not going to do it because in order to grow your business, you got to take on more challenges. Things will not get easy. So remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, that easy is never a part of success. Let's move on to our next attachment there, guys. I believe that is the sixth attachment, and that is, remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, in any case, just like I talked about earlier in my recipe for success, expanding is your main goal. Not just today, not just tomorrow, not just this week, this month, always. When you're successful in this profession, it's because you're continuing to expand your business. How do we start by expanding our business? By expanding our contact list. So remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, expanding is your main goal always. Now, if your goal is to fail, then don't expand your list. Just coast on what you have, and you will fail. But if your goal is to be successful, always make expanding your main goal. Again, always. Open up attachment number 7 there, guys. Remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, if your attention is on your problems, then your goals are too small. Remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, if your attention is on your problems, then your goals are too small. One thing that you will witness as you grow your business, guaranteed, is you will have more problems and more challenges. If you're focused on those problems and challenges, you're not going to grow your business. So when your attention is on your problems, basically your goals are too small. If you're focused on, if your goals are too small, what are you going to focus on? But when you actually set goals to increase your business, you're going to be focused on your goals. But if you're focused on your problems, that means your goals are too small. Let's go ahead and open up attachment number 8 there in that email invite that I sent you today for my Tuesday conference call. And that is, remember, again, when you're calling your prospects and customers, to take action on your fear. Again, take action on your fear. Do not retreat from it. I guarantee you, as you grow your business, you're going to have more challenges. You're going to have more problems. In the process, when you make mistakes, you're gonna let fear set in. Well, here's what you do. Take action on that fear. Don't think just because you feel fearful because you've made mistakes that, hey, I'm going to sit back and, let things lie low. I'm going to, make sure that everything settles out here. Believe me, take action on that fear. Do not retreat from it. The more action you take on your fear, the better you're going to get, not only at this profession, but life in general. So take action on your fear. Do not retreat from fear. Let's go ahead and open up that last attachment. Attachment number 9. Attachment number 9 reads, remember, when you're calling your prospects and customers, that new challenges are good. If you're not witnessing challenges, you are not witnessing an increase in your business. Because when you increase your business, as I said earlier, you will have challenges, you will have new challenges. Just a point of reference, if and when you're having new challenges, remember that is good. Because when you're having new challenges, that means that you're expanding your business, you're expanding your contact list, you could be expanding the type of freight that you move. New challenges are good. Always, always remember that when you're calling your prospects and your customers. Great topic for today. Again, that topic is, as I said earlier, avoid these common freight shipping mistakes. In closing out my conference call today, guys, do you want to receive those email notices and invites and also get the attachments for this and every call? Then go to my website, go to tedkeysonline.com/contacts and enter your contact details. Do you have any questions about the call today? Or more important, just being on the call shows that you have a desire to be successful in this profession. Do you have a desire to be a top-notch freight sales agent, and are you ready to join our team? Then give me, Ted Keys, a call at 626-309-9141. Great topic today. Thank you for joining us. Get ready, just because you got on my contact list, to receive my invite for next week on my Tuesday conference call. Take care. Pleasure talking to you today. God bless you all. Take care. We'll see you all next week, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Take care. God bless. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.
You've just taken a tremendous step forward by watching and applying my Tuesday conference call highlight. Do you desire to earn and learn with our top freight team and Christian-based office? Yes? We're searching for a self-starter who's serious, motivated, and ready to take action right now. Is that you? Go to tedkeysonline.com/contacts and enter your contact details. We provide top-notch freight agent sales training to you. Then you deliver those same skills with confidence to the freight industry marketplace. I'll talk to you soon.